I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a pleasure it is to have you here again. If you're wondering where Joe is, sleeping. If you're wondering why I look so sleepy, it's because I was sleeping just moments ago as well. We only got to bed around 3 a.m., after 3 a.m. last night, and then we were up and at 'em by 6:30 this morning. It was a challenge. Things as they are is the stream topic, and I'll just give you friends almost like the breakdown where we woke up and we moved everything, got everything packed in the places they were supposed to go. My sister is going to university, and she had to go and have her stuff dropped too. And it really has been this experience of constant change over the last couple of weeks with you friends. Big butterfly just came past me. Transformation. Mm, I feel in sync. Even if things as they are is sleepy. I did get at least like 3 extra hours, I think. So I'm up to like 5.5. Just enough to feel like I can function as a human being again. I know I'm a little bit late for my normal stream window, but I feel like I still am in the hour window, right? So some of you friends usually only join like later in the hour. So I'm open and trusting that you'll be here talking about, hey Dan, hey Dan, how are you doing, my friend? You taking care of yourself? Very soon now. Very, very soon now. 2 days from now, I will be heading your side of the world. I think Joe has already received the light that you sent, but I don't think she's received the tripod yet. I don't know if it's been delivered or maybe sent to like the post office or something for her to go and pick it up. And I have some really good news. I'm super happy to see that. It's going to be one of those string of messages, so bear with me. I'm here with you. Right now, Dan, it's just me and you. While you're writing, I'm going to quickly go and get something. I have a knock away here on my shin where it creates this whole little bruise wilt. It's very painful. Hurts a lot when you touch it. But it didn't for a long time, and now it is. And I don't know if I'm supposed to massage it. Is that truly Jay? Truly, truly. Hey, truly. Hey, truly. How you doing? Is it okay or even good for my leg, my shin specifically, to massage the little bump I have on it from hitting it against something? Yeah, it's truly Jay. I'm doing good. I'm happy to
Ouch.
hear that.
We've all been.
Yeah, ouch. Friggin' saying ouch to me. You know what ouch is, machine. Maybe it's, yeah, maybe it is humoring me. Yes, gentle massage is generally okay and can be helpful, but timing and technique are everything. Breakup of fluids, preventing scar tissue, pro tips for skin bump drainage. Heat is your friend. Don't be a hero if it feels sharp, stabbing pain. When you touch it, back off. You want therapeutic discomfort, not new injury pain. I will not die. All right. Here's some context. I don't know if I want to start reading it right now. I'm gonna let you write some more of it, Dan. That way I can read even more in a single delivery. Hope you're enjoying and healthy, and your family also. They are. Everybody is healthy. Me and Vessel had a beautiful weekend of being proper brothers. The amount of love that there was for Rida with him getting married this weekend was spectacular. Part of me wishes that I spent more time with my sister, but she's also on her way to university now. She's already in her hostel room. Let me show you. They sent a photo on the family group. This is 2 p.m. So a while ago. Is it focus? Focus, damn it. You get the gist. She's sitting on the bed that she will be sleeping on for an extended period of time. This room looks like a hostel room. And that is what she wanted. Koshuis, we call it. Food house. She's in a food house. We'll feed her. But she'll also be living with a roommate. And it is, again, something that she wanted. She really did want to have the experience of company, almost like exposure to culture and different individuals and opinions. I think I just heard my parents on their way. The room where she'll sleep in. Got something, heading back again. Then we're gonna absorb some good news. The good news of a friend. Good news doubled because you get to be happy about the good news and you get to be happy for your friend experiencing such good news. There I am. Hey Sam. Natalie here too. Hey Natalie. How you doing? How's life treating you? Best LGBTQ stream on YouTube. That's wholesome. I don't know if we're technically an LGBTQ stream in the direct sense. However, you saying that has me reading it like if there's any stream that's the best, even for the LGBT community, this would be it as well. And I believe you because these friends, and I would like to include myself amongst them, will not judge you for who you choose to love, as long as you choose love, right? Love over hatred and fear, love over worry and meanness. And love triumphing over all of it. I'll have to make another flower. I know that as well. I did miss my flower. It has been like one of those. And where is Jovan? You can probably see I am still a little bit sleepy looking. And it is because I just woke up to Sam. And I did ask her if she wants to get up at that point, and she was like, "You mind if I get a little bit more rest?" I'm like, "Nope, nope, I don't. I totally get it. No minding here." But great celebration yesterday. I hope that it was, at the very least, an experience to be had because the way the internet was packet challenged Hey, don't drink my stuff. Freaking starts drinking my water bottle. The absolute gall. That's a good partner there, Mel. Eva or Jovan? To do Jovan, I'll say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Especially since she was the one that really wanted to make sure that I get here on time. It's been nice having her here. It is extremely hot here on the farm again. Like I think the real feel is like probably 37 or something. Like pushing 100 Fahrenheit. It is. I mean, you can see. Like I'm having a hard time. Jaquima, Tachuma Pumula. Hey, it's nice having you here. Darren's here too. Sharing the trees with Darren. Love to you. 37 compared to minus 22. Yeah. I mean, like, you can literally see my blood pressure increasing. That's how hot it is. Just sitting here has me high blood pressure. Glad I woke up. Me too. Thank you, Nancy, for being here with us. How are you doing, friend? Here comes a sneeze. I literally sent rocks flying just now. I don't know if you heard them crashing over. We're glad you woke up too. We really are, dear friend. It is so hot. I'm gonna have to cool myself down a little bit. All right, here we go. Dan has shared a fractal with us. And he said, so, I was cold turkeying the weed and booze, going through and feeling a lot of my trauma in a more honest way. 10 days into this process, I hit a wall and decided, fuck it, I'm gonna actually love myself. But I had the complete same opposite effect. It turned the emotional volume knob down just enough for processing without totally numbing the feelings, and goddamn, this shit just ripped through me. I listened to Strobe by Deadmau5 on repeat and just grieved. The next morning, I felt a level of clarity that allowed me to reconnect with my mom. I was able to approach her with honesty, but in love instead of anger. Now we plan to contribute. Now we plan to continue that honest conversation with a therapist and begin healing together while also making time for rebuilding. That's so beautiful, Dan. Jeeves. It's wild how a breakthrough on our side can make such a big difference. Me and Joe had some conversations about the energy, right, that you hold. I carry some, if you want to use the word, mild trauma from when I was a child, where I wanted to pet. There we go. That's a cool view. I wanted to pet a big dog, but said big dog was eating when I approached it. And upon plying hands on Big Dog, it turned around and grabbed me by my face. At least, I think only like grabbed me and then let go. It didn't maul my face. However, I did have a hole, a few, in my actual face because of the dog attack. And ever since, I have been very, very careful with my approach to dogs. And there were some bigger dogs. It's a little worm dude. Little wormy. Pew. There were big dogs at the wedding space, the space in which the wedding was happening. Nice view. Thank you, Mexi. Appreciate that. I added water to myself. Don't judge me. It's not fun, the amount of hot I'm experiencing. All right. So And then Joe is there with me, all right, at the moment when I'm being a little bit careful with approaching these doggos. And she has a lot more, how do you say, vrijwilligheid is the Afrikaans word, like willingness, typically. Free willingness is the direct translation to approach these big dogs and start petting them. And then she lets me know that they can pick up on, my energy, and if I'm feeling a little bit anxious and unstable or uncertain, they might pick up on that and feel anxious and unstable themselves as well. And that might end up getting me hurt, right? I haven't been bit again since then, but yeah, I understood what she was saying. And now I want to share that teaching that she gave me, you know, through the context of our family relations as well. Whereas, as you said, Dan, you might not even be communicating angry words, but just being in that trauma state of anger, in the trying to say any words, they might be able to pick up. They might be able to detect that there is still anger there. And again, nobody really wants to consider themselves a villain, right? Everybody in their own story is the good guy. And I'm so happy that you did get to connect in this way with your mom and that you're both willing to go out and do more of that work. It really is the only thing that there is to do at the end of the day. I am definitely happy that my relationship with my mom and my dad has improved. I think more of my dad than my mom. Me and my mom have been pretty stable in the last while. Feels like a sense of calm that I'm going into this next chapter with, knowing that I have done as much as I can to take care. Green, green. Bless you, dear friend. Screenshotted it. Good. Last view. Uh, Not exactly. I think tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be the last time. Tuesday will be in the city again. So, second to last day, dear friend, when we have this view for a while at the very least. For a long time. Long time. I think, technically, if you really want to think about it, this time it's going to be the longest time in between seeing this space again, because I came back home a few times when I was living in Hartis, which means that I think the longest you didn't see this space for was like 6 months. When I was staying with Christian, I was only gone for 2 months at most. And this time, I imagine it being a minimum of like 9 months. We might end up coming back somewhere in September, October, if the universe allows. Can barely hear you, dude. Thank you for letting me know. Here's my device, Sam. Now it's up to you to restart yours if there is still problems. Fortunately, there's a lot of videos of that view. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Like, we're not losing anything. We're savoring what we have right now. All right, taking it all in. Yeah, you suck it into my brains. Oh, things as they are. Things are good as they are. Veranguva. It's nice seeing you again, friend. I'm somewhat early for once. How's everyone? It's nice having you here, friend. I'm doing well. I'm somewhat late today, so look at us getting here at like almost the same time. It's nice having you. How are you doing, friend? Sending you love. I am a little bit behind on comments, and I'm getting there. Sam said, "Little man and I just got here. Did we miss any tears of drama?" Nope, no tears of drama. Just sleepiness. Like this is me. This is Melt on 5.5 hours of sleep. This is Melt on 10 hours of sleep in 48 hours. I am functioning. I'm functioning. What are you talking about? I'm functioning just fine. Kira Verb is here too. It's nice having you. All is well, you say. I'm happy to hear that. Today we're having a conversation about things as they are, right? I feel very matter of fact. Very matter of fact. I'm happy that I drove well back home. We had no near misses. Didn't hit a single pothole. Didn't lose time standing in traffic. Didn't drive a road that I'm used to. So I got to see a different part of South Africa on the way back as well. Definitely did feel like an experience worth having. You are surviving of love, not sleep this weekend. Love is true. You and Joe look so fancy, beauteous. It was nice. She definitely did. Oh, giving us flowers. It's so kind. Thank you, Kira Burbs, for bringing me flowers. I thought I'm the one that makes flowers. Appreciate you giving me some as well. I do like flowers, I'll say. She was, she's always beautiful to me, but she looked pretty in her long dress. I really love my mother, but have suffered betrayal and abandonment, and in return, I've been verbally abusive. And she and I are now sharing an awareness about all that and moving forward together. Maybe there was some willingness to apologize from your side as well, I imagine, Dan. I feel so much lighter. It's interesting how it works like that, right? Because we might, and I'm assuming or speaking for you, Dan, so do correct me if I'm incorrect, but like there can be this energy of when we're in a bad place, in a bad way with our familial relationships, especially one as powerful as that of our mother, there is this almost like I don't care attitude to it when it's not as it should be, right? Like I'm just gonna, write this experience off. I'm just gonna never talk to this person again, kind of thing. And it is as you said, where it it weighs on our hearts to live in that way. We might try and convince ourselves that it doesn't. That I am strong. I am so strong that I don't even need my mama. Not me. Me need mama? Yeah. I'm too strong for needing mom. Guess the fuck what? No, you're not. No, the fuck you ain't. Everybody loves their mom, even if their mom has not been kind, right? Like, I think it's impossible. And I think if your mom has not been kind, the reason it hurts as much as it would, the reason you hate your mom, is because you're supposed to love her in the first place, right? Loops right back around onto itself. I'm happy that you unburdened yourself like that, bro. Started the process of forgiving her. And I'm saying those words particularly because it is going to be a process. And you're still going to find yourself angry about some of the things that were said. And the only thing that you can do is continue the process of forgiving her. And allow yourself some grace. Forgive yourself a little bit as well while you're at it. Yeah, Melt just showed us his sister's hostel. She's in university. That is some of the, I don't know if it's drama, but perspective that I've shared. She's officially booked in. The comment I just deleted is trying to call. That's why, and otherwise like it, get and got removed. Thank you, Sam, for keeping the space safe. Love, love, love. Great celebrations today, it's true. Temperatures. Hi, Meltmore. Angelina. Don't know if you're still here. Looks like it should be cool there. It does look like it should be cool. But let me give it to you in Fahrenheit. But the temperature has been, yeah, 90 Fahrenheit. It's finally cooling down. Like right now, it's actually cooling down. There's a bunch of cloud coverage on that side of the sun. But it has been a hot day, and when the clouds are like that as well, it does add a lot of humidity, making the air feel heavy and a little bit sticky. Get that wet bulb effect where it's like it's harder for your body to get rid of the heat. This wet scarf that I have, it didn't like keep any of the water. It like just kind of like dumped the water onto my pants, as you can see. But I'm way cooler now than I used to be, and this I'll take as a win. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow, nice view. Thank you again. The dog knew you would heed warning. Oh, I mean, they didn't warn me. Maybe you're talking about the dog that bit my face. I think that was it. It didn't need to maul me because I instantly ran back to my mom, right, to go and get help with my bleeding face. Hi, guess who it is? It's you, friend. I still haven't been able to read that username, but I know that you join our space frequently. Sorry, man, it's okay. So my volume is cranked all the way up, and I can barely hear you, dude. Uh, I don't see anybody else having these qualms, Sam, and nothing changed with my microphone setup. I can unplug it and replug it in again. This is what the audio sounds like, just like straight into the device. And it is, in fact, telling me that it is connected when I do that. I'll just like hear from myself, maybe. And it is, in fact, telling me that it is connected when I do that. Hmm. I see what you mean, Sam. It's not very loud. I'll just like hear from myself, maybe. It's not very loud, but it's audible. I can do this technically. Every mic reset makes the bird sound louder. I can go like, oh, jeebies. Why is my little wheel so crunchy? I don't know if I like that. Did you buy that scarf from India? No. Technically, it is bought from Asia, but I think this came from China. It's nice to have you here, Tree Drive. I'm having like a whole little schism in my mind because this microphone setup of mine, it's making crunchy sounds, so it's very much not supposed to do that. I think it's better. Is it louder, Sam? Let me know. Still not seeing any confirmations. Let's check. Sam, let me know. Oh yeah, still not seeing any. That sounds louder to me. I don't know why I had to boost my gain literally by 6 decibels, which is twice as loud. But the volume is fine. Thank you, Natalie, for letting me know. I think America could use a little of your balance right now. I think this too. Like, that definitely was a sentiment that was shared many times during this weekend where people definitely are feeling a certain way about my move that side. Me included, I'll say. And there was a conversation or two had about how I would love to do everything I can to help people on that side, Natalie. To have conversations with people that make them feel like there is, in fact, hope. That this experience as they're having it is not going to be the only one. Right? Things do change. Love you, Sam. Dan says, Dan, I scrolled up and read about you and your mom. I'm really proud of you, man. Well done. Truly. Isn't that wholesome? I fucking love you too, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, this is what it's about. What more can one ask for than love? Is there anything I can ask for that will be as valuable? I don't know. I am unconvinced that there is anything more worthy than love. And you showing up for love for mom is you opening yourself up to more of it, I believe, as well. Let me see. Sam, -2, but it's just soft tones and lower octaves. Fortunately, there's lots of videos of that view. It's true again. How many times was this view the front page of Reddit? I think I only went like front page. I didn't know more than 60 times. I might be misremembering, but no, front page. Front page. This was a front page view though. So that's true. I restart to know better, but thanks for placing the onus of fixing this on me. That feels great. What more do you want me to do, Sam? I have tried everything. I have restarted my device. I have unplugged my microphones and plugged them back in again. I have upped the gain of my receiver. The last thing I can do is I can up the gain of my microphone itself as well. Then it'll be a total of 12 extra decibels of gain. Let me know if you want me to do that. I'm gonna keep trying to fix it. However, in this moment, I don't know what's wrong either. I'm just as confused as you are. You need to do a dance, sit out stream this Wednesday. I might still be on the plane, dear Natalie, and then I might be at the airport when I do my stream, or maybe in Chicago on our way back home. So I do want to do a stream in the snow. I don't want to dance stream in the snow. Melt is literally defeated by sleep deprivation. He's like, I cannot please you, Sam, but I will try. I'll try. I'll try. You know, if trying is trying, I'll try. But it's gonna take me some time. I'm gonna be slow. No excuses, man. There's space in the aisle for dancing. Yo, Dan, can you imagine, bro? I'm sure that would be one of those videos where I am suddenly going viral for all the wrong reasons. Where it's like, look at this fucking guy zooms in on my face dancing on the plane, right? You've seen the crazy people on the planes. I'm gonna become one of them, bro. It's like this fucking guy is just like Cytrons dancing on the plane. Can you believe this? And then I go, all of you are fake. None of you are real. This is a simulation. No, no, probably not. Probably shouldn't do that. I'll get sent right back. I'll get sent right back. Next plane, go back home. I've never been to Indiana, so I look forward to the streams from there. I've had like ideas even, Nancy, where I might want to start doing something I want to call finding moments of quiet, right? Where I want to take you into my space, whatever space it is, right? Even if it has to be in our home, right? And then taking a moment of quiet there with you. Almost like setting this intention to meditate as a community a little bit more. I'll try and share as much good stuff with your friends as I can. Where are you from? Kasan Drapa Ostelau asks. I am from South Africa. Ek is 'n Afrikaanse seentjie. I've been living here for my whole life, and I did technically take a little bit of a hiatus, moved to China for a year and a half, somewhere in the middle, and now I'm moving to the States. going to be a big change. I'm imagining if I spent the amount of time I've spent here, there, how that would transform my life as well. I think my life would change a lot more spending the second half of my life there versus spending the second half here, right, in that way. I think a lot will change either way, all right? That part I am well aware of, but I'm looking forward to seeing the changes that are coming for us. That's a good way to think about it, Melt, says Dan. I'm sure there's a little bit of melancholy feeling leaving home. Oh yeah, a lot. Stress even, right? This is my space. Like if any place was my place, this would be it. I have shared the fact that I haven't had the feeling of ownership over this place because growing up, my dad has sometimes been very vocal about under my roof and while you are on my property, so and so. You know, some of you friends have had that experience as well. And it did make me feel like that I'm not welcome here, right? I'm at the very least not welcome to be who I am and how I am. But on a real level, when it comes to the familiarity, the amount of knowing, right? Like a good friend, the way you know a very good friend of yours, your best friend. This place has that quality to me. If places could be friends, this place would be my best friend. Place wise, of course. I'm very, very comfortable here. I feel very safe. There was a point at which I slept with a shotgun next to my bed, and then at some point I stopped because I was like, do you believe this kind of thing? Do you really believe you're gonna need this shotgun? And then I was like, you know what? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I'm just gonna not be scared. And things have changed since then. Wait, I think I haven't read the last bit. I always feel bittersweet right before a transition like that. There definitely is like that. Maybe I should have used the sarcasm tag. My bad, buddy. Maybe. Sorry, Sam, for misreading as well. Sam, mine is good. All is well. You're surviving of love, love again. You look pretty in any. Joe looks pretty in any dress. Yeah, she could be dressed like a parrot. It would be amazing. I think she'd love that actually. The inner beauty is always shining out. True. As y'all know, Dan says I'm a big Green Day fan, and Mel, that's actually a section in. There's actually a section in Jesus of Suburbia. Section 3 is I Don't Care, and it is directed at the character's mother. Yeah, it's nice to believe you don't care, right? Especially after you've cared a lot, where you reach this point of like not wanting to care anymore because caring hurts. So we tell ourselves we don't care. But telling yourself you don't care is a kind of caring. Get get care mated. Bear with me. Bear with me. It's true, dude. I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you don't care. As a mom, I do feel I am automatically entitled to my kid's love. I have to show it and model it first. Absolutely, Natalie. It's an interesting word choice. I'm entitled to my children's love. I want to use the word deserve. Is that Hoopy? Hey, Hoopy. Hoopy friend. It's nice having you here too. All right. I think you deserve your children's love. But that deserving, as you said, comes from modeling that love towards them as well. Entitled, I don't know. Entitled is like something that you're given without any Maybe that's the way I'm interpreting it. Entitlement, in my mind, usually has like an inheritance or getting things that you want just because kind of fractal. I don't know why I'm hooking onto that. You do deserve all the love, dear Natalie friend. Thank you for modeling and showing that love to your little ones as well. Dan says, that's the right attitude, Natalie. My mom, frankly, failed at that. But she had a lot to manage. A single mother, crazy abusive drunk ex-husband. I have had to be the one to model for my mother instead. In forgiving her while asking for nothing in return, she has opened up and finally approaching me with honesty and accountability. I think those two last words you used, bruh. Being honest that things happened that caused pain, and then taking accountability for the hurt that we have, perpetuated into this existence. Like, sometimes when we're sharing some of the hurt that has happened, there can be this anger, even that you are receiving from the person who hurt you because they don't know what to do, right? They've already hurt you. What are they supposed to do now? And as you said, like just taking a little bit of accountability and being willing to hear you out and acknowledge that there was wrong things said doesn't fix all of the problems in the past, but at least it creates a semi-stable foundation to move forward on. Mm-mm. Where are you right now? It's a beautiful place. Right now, I'm in South Africa. Then I scrolled up and read about you and your mom. Bless again. Yes, this is better. There we go. Audioly. Audioly is not a word. Audioly. It is twice as hard right now. It's not hard, it's loud. You're right on the second one. Yeah, it's twice as loud right now. Plus 6 decibels. I don't know why it's messing with me. Maybe it's because it's this far down or something. Maybe that's my problem. But yeah, I am. I am that I am. And I am so happy to be here with you, friends. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. Mm-mm-mm. Natalie said, you grew up in the aftermath of a big social and racial tension in your home country. It will help to have someone who grew up with the social navigation still evolving. Love is true. Please note more decibels. I don't know if this is a good thing. No excuses. There's space in the after dancing. Love again. Wool socks for the slow dance until you can ethically source mucklucks. I don't know what the last word is. Is that some sort of animal product? Because the ethical sourcing seems like I am confused. How many of us would see viral clips in the wild and comment, I know that guy? It would be pretty funny, right? It would be pretty funny. Be like, hey, Leonardo style. I know who that is. Kind of like how narcissism only works when other people are around to support the illusion that you are indeed hot. I think I'm missing context, but I like that there is some feistiness happening. How many of us love again? Natalie, I had some mucklucks for over 10 years. I just had to trash them a month ago. They were great. Your friends have to let me know what that is. Where are you from? South Africa? I would recommend not dancing in public. Yeah, I know, Sam. Arresting. Even the costumed protesters, nobody is safe. Yeah, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna be such a good human being. So kind, so considerate, so friendly, so patient, so balanced in my approach to this world, this reality that I'm in. My mom and my dad are finally here. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, yeah. All right. I really like that idea Dan says, especially in our culture, there is a strong need to create space for silence. Exactly. I'm happy that you like the idea, Dan. My the depth of my idea was to eventually get myself like a 360 camera and then to have these microphones and then up the gain a lot and almost like experience the sound of silence kind of thing. Right? Every place in which I find myself quiet, it'll have wind rustling tree leaves. It'll have maybe bugs making their sound. And just to absorb in quietness that experiences with your friends. Maybe even capture it in 360, right? Where if you so wished, you could find yourself there with me, right? Maybe I'll take a shot like that with me sitting in it, and I'll take a shot with me outside of the shot as well. So you can experience the space in which you can find yourself quiet with or without me there with you. I do want to create good stuff for you, friends, and I appreciate you, Dan, for echoing that sentiment. True that, Sam. They just blew. Like, I'm not doubting that these things are happening, dear friends. You know, in fact, I have access to the internet as well, so I've seen some of the hurt you friends are mentioning. But I am heading to America right now, right? And even though what you say is true, for instance, right, Javan came to South Africa, right? And then upon her coming to South Africa, I can like tell her about all of the people getting murdered, political assassinations. There is still a massive corruption case unfolding in our police force, where people are just getting killed in their offices that are trying to prosecute those who have transgressed. All right, and I could be telling Jo about all of that stuff as she's on her way here, but that wouldn't make her experience true, right? And the same is true for me as I'm heading over to that side as well, right? Yes, these things are happening. These things happen all the time. If you look at history, this is more common than it's not. And I am but one person, easily, I'll say, intimidated by weapons. I really don't like someone having a gun, right? It gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. And as a result, right, I find myself a pacifist in so many words, right? I rather use my words to diffuse the situation. Hallo mama, welkom terug. Ik zie mama is nog niet geslapen. Nee. Ik heb tenminste nog 2,5 uur gekregen en Jovan slaapt nog steeds een beetje. Ja, dus ik voel een beetje weer een mens, maar nog steeds een beetje moe. Is jullie lekker geweest? Foto gezien, ik heb de mensen geweest op stream ook. Ja. Het is een kleinerige kamertje, actually. Heel klein, ja. Ik denk kleiner als mijn kamer dat ik in workschool gehad heb, echt niet. Mm. Maar, this is the of this experience. How was her roommate? Have you met her?
Met her, and then she moved in with a school friend.
Oh, she met someone that she knew.
Now baby storms alleen in 'n dorp komen.
I hope she keeps the.
Yeah.
I really hope she keeps the room. Yeah, getting to talk about my sister. Send her love, dear friends. Natalie says you have hippie moms and NA that will look after you. Thank you, Natalie. You have a lovely partner. I do. You're proving to be able to build a strong community around you. You see, Natalie is saying the things that I have on my heart. Tell mom we love her. Mensen, lieve mama. Sure, she's gonna hear it later at least. Have you ever heard of the killer ape theory? I've heard of the stoned ape theory, but not the killer ape theory. It's interesting that you would share something about that. I do believe that I am warrior spec, right? There is some sort of lexicon of kind of like archetypes and body shapes and mental application that you can pick. I picked most of the warrior stats capable of inflicting damage if I needed to. However, being this person and having all of that capacity, I have realized that I don't actually win in using it. The only way for me to win is in not using that capacity. All right. Or at the very least, using it in a way that is constructive instead of destructive. Right? Use my good aim to hunt food for my family. Right? I'll move on from that fractal. Tell me about killer ape theory. Maybe I haven't heard about that one. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I believe you will do well. Just remember your legal name at border crossings. Yeah. Akis. Akis. I do have a legal name, and it's not one of the ones that you know. Very few people know my actual full legal name. Love is true. Oh my goodness. Yes, officer. My name is Meltmore. Well, part of my application process, just so you know, is I had to, by law, disclose any content creation channels that I have. And of course, amongst them is this one and the name that I go by. They ask, no jokes, what aliases or other names do you go by, especially when creating online? And if they ask you that information and you don't give it, and they find out that information, you're in trouble. Wait. Do I know your legal name, Mel? I'm pretty sure I do. You don't. Estian is the name my family calls me, but it's not my name. In the dead name sense, and also in the actual sense. This guy does mushrooms, I think. Yeah, mushrooms are a very healthy food additive, right? Get stuff like lion's mane, helps boost brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Turkey tails have been proven to help people fight breast cancer. Chaga, I don't actually know what chaga does, but I know that it has health benefits as well, and cordyceps can be good for your eyes and your brain as well. Mushrooms are good for you. At least some of them are. Some of them kill you. Did you know that you can find out by putting a piece in your mouth and not swallowing, just putting it in your mouth and then seeing how your inner lips and tongue reacts to the compounds in that mushroom flesh? And if you start feeling numbness or tingling or burning sensations, you spit it out and you'll be fine. This is not advice, right? This is just me kind of like dropping some tidbits. If we ever had to go and live off the forest, at the very least, we'll be able to figure out whether or not we can eat things by knowing how. Love is true. Take care of yourself, dear friends. Let's not bomb ourselves into needing sticks and stones in the next war. You know, I don't want Einstein to be right about that part at the very least. History is written by the consensus, by the conquerors, Dan. And by the way, they keep trying to gaslight everyone on recent events. Tell me they know already they're gonna lose. Like, again, they're running out of time, Sam. That's the biggest thing. They're running out of time. And that's why they're so frantic, and that's why it's been so aggressive. They know, fortunately, that they're running out of time. And they're so, in many ways, a little bit challenged that even in the midterms, there might be already a swing of consensus sentiment. People are feeling a certain way, and I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good. Like the trilobite and parachute pants for the dustbin of history. Yeah, exactly. But Sam, Melt is bringing the parachute pants back. Exactly. Thank you, Natalie. Exactly. Yes. Sometimes you get people that'll bring things back, whether you like it or not. Do you work? I do. I have a business where I do visual mapping for festivals. I make art every single day. I do one of these live streams, and I'm a certified yoga teacher, and I give a class, hatha yoga, only like 15 to 20 minutes, but I do it every single day, and it's been good to the people that join me as well. All of that being said, I am moving state. I am moving to the States very soon, and I look forward to getting a more traditional, if we have to use that word, job as well, on top of the yoga class and the live streaming and the art making and the trying to build my business on that side too. Work. Work is how you change the world. Changing the world? That's your work. Make sure you're changing the world for the best. Entitled, coming from title, appointment via birth or privilege. You see, yes. So I did kind of like feel I understood what the word means. Maybe it's again, entitlement has been painted in a negative light a lot, Natalie. So maybe that's where the stick got stuck. That's haram pants. My pants are not haram. I'll let you know. My pants are not haram. There's nothing wrong with my pants. To the friends who know the joke I'm making, I'm sorry. Have you seen the comeback of Jane J and Co? Good times. I don't know what that is, unfortunately. Entitlement, the illusion of being owed something from someone. All you are entitled to is the breath of your body. After that, everything you get is the benefit of social welfare. Yeah, no, I do believe this. I've had this conversation as well with my siblings. I, I told you that me and Vessel had a really good time connecting this weekend. And the last time that we were in the same space together, one of the last conversations that we had with one another is that you can't do anything by yourself. Right? There was a lot of conversation had talking about how there has been a lot of jealousy in our family and potentially unequal distribution of resources. Right? Some of us have gotten more than others at some parts of our lives, and Vessel is a incredibly intelligent person. To those who don't know, he's my youngest brother. He's also a hardworking person. He's an electrician. He's making money, doing his thing. However, in him starting this process and taking up this responsibility for himself, there was this sentiment of, I'm gonna do it myself, right? I'm gonna build myself up to being successful by myself. And I could see that in him. And I remember at that age having the same kind of like general sentiment in me wanting to create success for myself. And along this journey, especially with you friends, the teaching kept coming back to me that I can't do anything, nothing by myself, right? Every bit of food I've eaten came from somewhere. Like if even if you're growing your own food right now, right? Where did you get the seeds? Go far back enough and it's from another person. Yes, where's the water coming from? Oh, it's rain and I pump it from the ground. Who built the pump that you're pumping it from the ground? Who made the hole? Like, right? You can't. There's nothing. There's nothing that's just your honor to have. All right, and it's interesting that the ego wants that. And sharing that sentiment with him, I could feel there was a little bit of a resistance into hearing what it is I was saying. And then this weekend, right, after having had some time apart again and coming back together, I feel like it was absorbed, right? The sentiment of what I was sharing in that moment felt like it made an impact on him, and he allowed himself, and this is of course my projection, but I believe he allowed himself to see me as someone a part of his life, right? That with the fights that we've had and the way that I show up in the world, there was at one point this sentiment of not wanting to be associated with me. You know, not everybody wants to have a hippie for a brother. And I could see that he allowed himself to love me this weekend. I think what helped, and maybe this is my own projection, is that I asked him for help. And I did everything in my power to almost not, right? To make it so that he didn't have to help me if I could prevent it. And then after I failed to do so, I called him and I asked him to help me. And he did. He did without asking for compensation in return, even though I offered. I am gonna miss them. I don't know if I've allowed myself to admit that. They won't be gone. In fact, by the next time we come together again, we'll be, all of us will be in an even better position to love one another, to do things together. I also believe that the way that Jovan connected with Karin was also a massive help. Like Jovan, Karin is Vessel's beloved. He wants to get married to her as well. She knows. They're planning, shooting for an October or September wedding. Yeah. How do we say? Love is true. Love is true. Okay. J and Co are so expensive now, Darren. I'm guessing it's a clothing brand when I say it like that. It would literally be cheaper to make your own pair. Accountability provides context for the trauma. It allows us to say that this is what I know now as a result of the shittiness. It's a good point you're making, actually, Dan. I don't know if I'm getting sunburned. I did put sunscreen on to drive. The first time I ever was like, I'm gonna drive 4 hours today. Put sunscreen. Wish I started earlier. That's all I'll say about that going forward. Allows us. It's true. And entitlement only works if the society around the entitled enable it. True. Kinda like how narcissism only works when other people are around to support the illusion that you are indeed hot shit. If a narcissist fails, nails physical perfection, but no one is around to witness it, what is that perfection actually worth? That's a hilarious thought experiment.
a twist on the if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, right? It's true, right? I've shared multiple times the sentiment that if you could, from a narcissistic perspective, snap your fingers and disappear every single other person on Earth, by definition, by extension, suddenly I become Earth King. Everything is mine now. Every nice car, every cool house, every beautiful piece of art, every tasty piece of food being left on people's plates. But then the food will turn and spoil, and I will probably find myself gravitating towards some rich person's home that has a nice theater with an incredible sound system, and maybe a local server with all of human media. And then I'll just reminisce. I'll go and look for people. I'll go and listen to what people have said, look at what people have made, desperate to go back to when there used to be human beings. Right? It would fade so quick. The narcissism won't serve you in that space. Mucklucks is a footwear made and worn by traditional indigenous North Americans. Suddenly, the ethical acquisition thereof is like even funnier, where the unethical acquisition is like stealing an indigenous North Americans. It's like, why, why are you like that, brain? Please. Typically made of animal skin and furs. Okay, there's the ethical part. For some reason, I'm sorry, you saw it. I'm sorry. Our natural weathers, resistant and insulated. That's pretty cool. Tell your friends, tell your parents, we will miss them. I'll tell them. It's interesting that we both got there. Natalie, love to you. Melt's accent won't flag as overly strange, not in the Midwest. I do imagine there will be a massive amount of culture shock, however. Oh, yeah. No, that I'm very sure of, Sam. There's no doubt in my mind that there will be. This is how you live? Gestures broadly at waste. It's like, you're just gonna throw all of this food away? You're just gonna. You're just gonna throw away this perfectly fine clothing item because you don't want it anymore? You're just gonna buy yourself another whatever again? That probably. I think the abundance is gonna be the biggest culture shock for me. And I think the biggest shock to you, friends, will be good internet. Suddenly, for the first time in my streaming career, I'll have a good internet. That's gonna be a change. I look forward to that part as well. We got Jaju. We were talking about you today, bro. Sending you love. Me and Jovan, like, even said your real name. We had a whole real name conversation today already. Hello, and good day to you, MeltMore. You are a wonderful bunch of humanimals, and I just wanted to tell you that. Know you. Easiest know you ever. Oh, that's fair, man. Don't mean to dampen your moving experience. This community is one node that is part of a larger spiritual awakening happening in the West. We're all over the place, homies. We're all over the place. Don't lose hope now. All right? Losing hope is the way they win. If there is a they, and I am aware enough to believe that there is a hey, a they, a collective that does try to enact control over humanity, that does try to see how far they can push things, that does see how much people are willing to accept. There is a they, definitely. There has to be. The amount of orchestration. And again, maybe that's my naivete. I've like watched this deep dive where someone went like, actually there is no they. There is just collective stupidity. However, however, we recently saw some of that control trying to be enacted, and I'll just say it like that. I'm not talking about what's happening in the most recent term. I'm talking even further back. There is so much manipulation happening. And then you have to ask yourself, what are they trying to manipulate us towards? And I can only imagine it being hopelessness, being alone, being unable to confide, being unable to connect. And if that is the objective from their perspective, then it's our goal to do the opposite, to find connection, to build meaningful friendships, people that we can trust, people that we can rely on, someone that we can send a message and they'll be there to help us. And unfortunately, it does start at our homes. And double, unfortunately, not everybody that lives close to our home are people that we want as friends. And that's okay as well, right? They don't have to be your friend for you to have some kind of rapport, some sort of collective agreement that this is our home, person that I like or not like. And if we are to live here together, then there has to be some sort of baseline, a mutual respect for one another, a collective understanding that we want to see this place get better, improve, at the very least, maintained, taken care of, so that we can continue living here without feeling like we're falling apart with it. And in that way, I feel the consensus is already reaching a tipping point, and we will have robots. I keep saying it. It is disheartening to think about it from the other side. And I had this conversation, and I'll share it like that, with Ruben and Reina when they were here with me last Wednesday. That robots is going to, for the first time in our humanity, give us, and I'm saying us in the liberal sense from the perspective of people that can have a stick up their ass, give us the chance to let other people do nothing, right? Because one of the biggest things that causes anger and causes depravity and the deprivation in that way of basic needs and goods is the fact that some people cannot, not for the life of them, stand seeing someone not do anything. And I can sometimes be one of those someones, right? I don't believe you need to be working a traditional job in order to have value to the world. But if you're just laying in your bed, scrolling TikToks all day, ordering food into your room, and then, throwing your trash on the side of your bed, expecting the robot to clean it for you as well, kind of thing. I feel like that wouldn't, again, from my perspective, I see all of us as one. And I see that experience not being one that I want. And since we're all having this experience together, you doing that to yourself affects me as well, even if you know it or not. However, rolling it back, robots will allow it to be possible for it to be okay, right? Where as our world has it right now, let's talk on the maintenance thing again, right? Let's say it's your turn to sweep the floors in this process of maintenance. And now you just want to continue doing nothing. Now suddenly anger can arise because, hey, oh, I did my bit yesterday. It's your turn to do your thing. Where robots won't have to have that fight, right? They can be programmed. They can be given very clear instructions, and their whole purpose is executing said instruction. Unfortunately, it can also be used for war, and it will be. However, it's going to be robots fighting robots on the front lines in that way. It's going to become more gamified, I hope, at the very least. If you don't know this, and you can look this up if you don't believe me, the amount of death, the death toll has been decreasing steadily over our human history. We're killing each other less and less. When we're killing each other, the way in which we're killing one another has become more and more sophisticated. However, the actual number has been decreasing slowly but surely. And in that way, the robots will allow a lot of humanity to be saved, that pain as well. Not only in the war sense, but also in the sweeping the floor sense. Not everybody likes sweeping the floor, right? Doesn't mean it's not a valuable experience. But in our current society, we don't value adequately, right? A floor sweeper in that way is going to have a harder time buying themselves a home and a vehicle than the person who's the floor maker, kind of thing, right? And again, both of those are necessary. If there is a floor have been made, then there will be a floor that needs to be cleaned. We will create extensions of ourselves with the machines, and again, they will be reflections of us. They'll be a reflection of you. The robot that you employ in your home will start to absorb what you are, will learn how to interact with you in a way that reflects your personality. And then people will come and visit you, and your robot will maybe crack them up a little bit, right? It will become a part of our lives in the same way I feel our dogs and cats have become, right? Like, we don't really question the fact that we have dogs and cats, but it's fucking strange. Have you really thought about it? We have these freaking creatures that live and breathe and eat food and poop and pee, and we just like are letting them live in our homes. Some people like just letting them get inside of their beds. Like, and we're just like, yeah, it's normal. That's okay. People do that. Right? And in that way, they have become a part of our lives. They've become synonymous in that way with the human experience. And very soon, very soon, there will be a whole new human experience arising. And I do believe that that's going to allow us to start considering the concept of proper human welfare, because it will become very cheap to do so. If it's very cheap to take care of people, it makes it a little bit easier to do that, right? All of us can think and admit that would be true. That's fair, man. Bless, bless again, Dan. Thank you. Have you ever heard? I haven't. I wonder if you're going to tell me. I have faith that Joe will help you navigate the social and cultural changes. I also believe that people will be refreshed with your open heart approach. I do hope so, Natalie. Thank you. I'm going to be my authentic self, right? The biggest thing that I'll have to guard against is to not take offense when people don't like me, right? That's going to be the biggest work for me to do. But I will show up with my open heart and with my authenticity. Melty will navigate the world just fine. He's quite capable of negotiation and adjustment. Chauvin will certainly help him with the subtle nuances. Thank you, friends, for echoing these loving sentiments. I know I'm far behind, but I appreciate back again. Am I back again? I hope so. I just replied to I just saw your message about you being willing to help me get a job, Dan. Hit me up. Let me know. Tell me what I need to know. All right, I'll say all those things. Because again, I'm heading there soon. And I would love the help. Seriously. Essentially, the theory states that violence was the main driving factor for evolution, as early apes left the trees, being exposed to ground threats and war. Uh, I like the stoned ape theory more because it was like the theory states that uh, evolution was the main driving factor, or uh, let's say survival was the main driving factor for evolution, as early apes left the trees following cattle, finding in their patties, as they were tracking them, these things that had intelligence in them. All right, and exposing themselves to that intelligence over and over again helped us grow alongside them. Mm-mm-mm. Jaiko, nice. The more you know. Womp womp womp. Dream Tooth here too. So much love. What kind of work, Dan? Who made the whole? In my case, who developed or gave up their land for me to grow on? There you go. Sam, are you still there? Is it snowing where you are? Let us know. Dreamtooth, I work for a tech company called Nice. We are a digital voice over internet protocol recording We do digital voice over internet protocol recordings. I work in a server support on contact with the city of New York, logging and recording all the 911 calls and radio traffic for NYPD, FDNY, and EMS. That sounds pretty cool to me, actually, Dan. Yeah, I could do that. I could do all of those things. Instantly, I can even see myself wanting to do them well. Right, optimize and get good. Contract. Ah, I did read it correctly. Bless. Thank you for letting us know. I'm even more interested then. Yo, I don't know what was said, Sam, but that's. I just read your reply. Some people are hurt, Sam. And I appreciate you making sure that I don't get hurt by those hurt people. I hope that there will be resolve in that person's life as well. Melty, that statement hits me in the root. Not everyone wants a hippie for a brother. For what it's worth, judge you, I do. I like my hippie bros. We chill and have meaningful conversations that I reminisce about. Right? I've reminisced more about like time with friends than almost any other experience. I've never reminisced for food really, never reminisced for a car at one point or another, right? Never reminisced about a place that much, but time with friends, that's the good stuff. Not everybody wants that, but love is true. You are wanted here, dear friend. That's beautiful, man. You approach him with, you approached him how he needed to be. I can feel what you're feeling through the screen, man. Here with you. I know I'm a little bit behind now on that sentiment. That I know these messages came from when I was crying a little bit about missing my family and on leaving. I appreciate your love. Ohan, remember that it's okay to melt. We'll be together, it's true. I love you, bud. You were going through a massive change. It's always an emotional transition. I'm so lucky to have your friends as support and to be able to have Jo next to me as I go that side. She did spend a lot of money, so much money, to come and get me, right? She didn't need to do that. I might send you friends a message and ask for help. If you have $10 to give. This transition is an expensive one for both of us. It's also going to be another 1,500 US dollars just to get my green card. So in that way, I cannot be grateful enough to everything that Jo has done. She has poured her heart out for me, and it will be an emotional transition, but I'll have your friends' support. They won't be gone, man. None of us are going anywhere. Where is there to go? Even in death, you will find yourself here and now. What a true statement that is, bro. Beautiful, Dan. I think that might be the healing that your family needs. Exactly. For you to not be so close with your daily activities and still be able to connect to video calls. They can always tune themselves into the space as well. I'm sure that there will be moments. I think they'll probably watch my streams now more than ever before. The irony of that as well. The famous wide leg pants. Nice. Lamal, remember that you need sunscreen in the North Hemisphere in winter. Yeah, I'll get good. I'll get good at wearing sunscreen more often. Does your fly on a pilot's license melt? What? It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Love is true. Apes have excellent short-term memory. Very good. You're right about that. Way better than us. Like those videos of them doing number sequences, right? Very impressive. Like they see it for an instance and then they do like a 16 number sequence, right? On the screen, on the different spots. Like it's bonkers how good their short-term memory is. Due to violence, this memory in the first apes evolved into long-term memory as they left the trees to be able to organize and face threats on the ground. As the apes have excellent short-term memory, and due to kindness, this memory in the first apes evolved into a long-term memory so that they may remember the apes that they can partner with in the pursuit of survival together. Yes. Right? Both of these statements can be true. We don't know, bro. We don't know. But like believing in the killer ape theory, I don't know, man. I do think we're pretty dangerous. We are dangerous. Human beings are crazy. Like if the aliens aren't here, it's because they're shit scared of us. All right? That we would literally like freaking alien can land on planet Earth, all right, with his shiny spaceship and laser rays, and he will and human beings will literally attack them with sticks and stones. If that's all they have access to, right? If he lands in some sort of like rural community, some sort of uncontacted tribe, it's like, what is wrong with these? What is wrong with these things? Like, can't they see that we are oogles of technological advances ahead of them? It's like, no, they can see it. They are just crazy. They're like absolutely insane. There's something wrong with them. They're coming for us. The world's his studio. Love is true. All of us create with the materials that we have, don't we, bro? Do you have the source for those claims? They seem logically sensible, but I'd love to do a reader write-up if you have one on hand. Could be search. Could be search. Is this knowing where you are? It's no examining. It snowed yesterday, more than enough for some tasty as snow bong ribs. Nice. Yeah, Shay, Jovan's sister, sent us a video of the snow falling in Bloomington as well. I don't know that it needs to be a conspiracy that they are up to. Some people want to control. Exactly. That's how they stay emotionally safe. When enough people give into that and consolidate power, well, then we are where we are. They have consolidated power. Exactly. And in that way, that is the they. The consolidation of that power is the they. All right. And they have a financial incentive to remain in that control. And in that way, it is a matter of how much of it we're willing to give away from ourselves. The perspective, objective of detection and connection is to the kindred spirits. I'm going to read that again because it's beautiful. The perspective, objective of detection and connection to the kindred spirits that seek to sit in concert. Love to you, Jaju. Check out the neon green leaves or the dull yellow leaves. You got some dull yellow leaves? Or are you talking about the ones in the back? They do have a yellowish tint to it, but it's some sunlight casting on it. Then I was ringing alarm bells about this over 10 years ago and got ignored. I'm at that stage, oh yeah. But no systems of control can stop the inevitable flow of the universe. There are way of things. Christians are people of the way. The Taoists follow the Tao or the way of things. These are just acknowledgments of the universal law that governs all. This group is about flowing into that pattern rather than resisting it. Exactly. Melting instead of rigidity. All right? You can be rigid. You can. But I promise you, it will not be as fun as being a little bit melty. Taking a hit as someone rigid hurts. Taking a hit as something molten moves you instead. Mel, do you have an interest in running for office in the US? I don't think I'm allowed to. Maybe I could be a local politician. Hey Google, Am I, as a South African, allowed to be a local politician in the US? I know I'm not allowed to be president. Right, that's not an option because I'm not locally born. Nope. In general, no. To run for a local, state, or federal office in the United States, you must be a US citizen. But I'll be, okay, there we go. Key requirements, naturalization. You will typically need to become a US citizen first. This generally requires being a lawful permanent resident or a green card holder for at least 5 years. So there you go. Give me 5 years to think about it, Nancy. If 5 years pass and I realize that the only thing for things to change is for me to take a more active role in my community, then maybe I can be, maybe I could be helpful. Let's use that word. Melt, that hits harsh. My first corporate job closed our office and we all got laid off with severance. I had several months of no responsibility. I I made my partner lunch over their break. Are you feeling into my fractal of talking about doing nothing? That hits harsh. Again, you are a mother, dear friend. You're not doing nothing. Maybe this was longer ago. My first corporate job. Okay, that might have been before you had kids. And again, maybe I'll say it like this, dear Natalie, like you didn't continue doing nothing, right? I feel like it's the continuation. That's the thing that I have a problem with. Like if you are almost like delegating your life to that kind of reality, like I'm now forever, like this is gonna be my new reality. I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna absorb anime and TV shows and YouTube videos and eat food and then rot on rot on my bed, not do a lick of exercise, not do a stretch, right? Complain about, like I'm pushing it into an extreme. For me, if I have a problem with doing nothing, it's the lack of almost like giving yourself a life to look forward to, right? Like depression is one of the hardest experience you can have in this world, and we do have some control over how we feel. And I have noticed if I delegate myself to doing nothing, I don't feel good. And again, maybe I'm not representative of the average person, but I think it's true for a lot of people at the very least. Making lunch over their breaks for your partner. When I was staying with Christian, of course, he's not my partner, but I also took great pride in cooking him dinner, right? That I have this work to do, and then after this work is done, I have my hands open to me. And Christian just came back from the office working a whole day. He's tired, right? And his hands are open as well right now. He could be the one that cooks the food, but I felt a great honor in knowing that, relatively at the very least, in comparison to him, I've done a lot more nothing today than he has. And in that way, I get to take on the doing of something so that he is allowed the doing of nothing. So, yeah, it's not a judgment that I necessarily cast in my mind, but a balance that I feel exists, right? And all of us are a part of that inner balance as well, in the largest of senses, too, I believe, right? In the ultimate extreme. Christianity has become a safe haven where people with darkness in their hearts may wear the cloak of righteousness to cover their deeds. Almost does not serve the purpose it was designed for. That's exactly what it was designed for, though, Sam. Unfortunately, right? That your sins are forgiven. That all you need to do, no matter how sinful you are, is accept your Savior. And then you're waxed. You're waxy bobaxy. So, of course, a lot of people are going to get along with that idea. It's like, what? I can be a really bad person and still feel righteous because made this I've made this societal choice, and it is a societal choice. right? It's like the whole narcissism thing. If you are a Christian and there's nobody to tell, right, does it matter? Does it matter? There's no one to compare yourself to. Does it matter? There's no one to hurt other than yourself. Does it matter? I think I see our point, me. I think I see you too, Hoopy. I lasted about 7 weeks and 3 video games before I took a retail job because I needed to do something. There we go. That was the rest of the message I was looking for, right? Yeah. 7 weeks. That's a good amount of time. That's almost the amount of time I spent, Natalie. Mine was 8 weeks. 8 weeks and mostly Dota. And then I was like, oh, I am losing my mind. I am need to do something, anything other than what I'm doing right now, please. Frig, I would have loved to just sweep floors and stock inventory. Yeah. Chop wood, carry water, right? Such is life. I got the bingo card with all value boxes, and I just won at Blackout. Nice. I don't exactly know what that means, but I do know I just won, and I'm happy about that, bro. Bless. Yes, Sam, he is the embodiment of all that is broken in the world. On a certain level, I feel bad for him. The rump. Whatever happens to you, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, dude. Like, I don't envy the wealthy elite's lives, right? I feel, honestly, I'm more wealthy being myself than I would be having a yacht and being them. Maybe that is, of course, what they call it, low class snobism or something, but I'll take it. I'm gonna take it. That's mine. I'm putting it in my pocket right now. I do not believe that I will ever have a robot in my home. Alexa freaks me out already. It's as they say, bro. It's like a matter of need. You don't need a robot in your home right now, but you might at some point. Maybe you get so busy with a creative project. Maybe you get so busy with a partner and seeing the world that your home needs to be taken care of, right? Something still needs to cut the grass, maintain the plants while you're not there, or maybe you're incapable of doing it yourself and you need the help, right? And it's prohibitively expensive to employ a person to help with those kinds of things, and it won't be to have a robot to do it. My pets are all companion animals that I would want with me in the wild. True. Same for me. I mean, it depends as well, right? Technically, if I was going out hunting, I don't want this creature with me, right? It's gonna chase my deer away, unfortunately. So in that way, right, they can also be a little bit cumbersome. Little quaffle. Mm, there exist many publications on this. I suggest um, I suggest Morris Ian, 2014. I'm guessing you're talking about that person's movie called The War. What is it good for? The role of conflict and the progress of civilization from primitives to robots. There it is. Very cool. Let's talk about food instead, Dan. I love that. Oopie, that's hilarious, bro. That's very funny. Dream Tooth, I am currently making chicken quesadillas. Nice. I got myself some of those, well, technically dad got it. Some of those like hot noodles, those really hot noodles with the chicken on it. And I'm actually gonna get myself one of those. I saw it on a video. I saw someone like cover it, talking about the graphic design and talking about the little mascot they have and how it's become like an international phenomenon. And I was like, I haven't had one of those packs of noodles in 6 years, going on 7 years now, and I was like, I'll want one again. So I'm gonna get spicy. That's the plan for me. Alexa is a wiretap Joe, and I'm not interested in being convinced otherwise. I mean, again, I don't know if you want to hear this, Sam, but so is your phone. All right, and I don't have to convince you because you already know. Our lives are not that interesting to them at the very least. All we have to be is good people. Like I don't even have it turned on my phone, and it does not know my voice, and it will never know my voice, and that's how the police state gets you. Uh, Again, Sam, you're fine. I think it's like a conspiracy. Our lives are not that interesting to the ultra elite, right? Not considered, we're not the threat. I'll just say it in that way. We're not the threat, right? The real threat is almost like a consensus, right? A general feeling. If the vibe, like the real threat is vibes, literally. The real threat is memes. That's the real threat, not you. You can chillax. You can relaxeer. You can raak bietjie rustig vir me. Raak rustig. Get relaxed. We're gonna be fine. Mm-mm. I encourage you to do your own due diligence as well as research the Gombe chimp war. As chimpanzees, I did hear about the Gombe chimp war, like brutal stuff. Our closest ancestors are surprisingly violent. Yeah, but again, right, those were territorial disputes, apparently. And then on top of that, it was almost like I think like I don't know if it was a revenge plot, kind of like a revenge plot kind of fractal where they just killed all of them, just like every single one of them. No one survived on the other tribe. I don't know if that actually helps, right? And again, that is again, I believe, a matter of resources. Where if you're a monkey or an ape in a forest, there's only so many fruit trees, and these fruit trees only produce so many foods. And if there's monkeys that's not a part of your tribe, they can eat your stuff. They can eat your stuff, and you'll have to kill them about it. Dan, yo, that's so true. The one thing gatekeepers can't control is the vibes. They're trying really hard with social media and the news, but it's not working. Exactly, Dan. I like how we have these moments then where I say something and you friends like echo it from this perspective of like that's an interesting way to think about it. And sometimes these ways of thinking about it almost like comes to me with you friends. And I believe, and this might be my hippie woo-wooness, but I believe we create like a collective mind field when we start this stream together. Someone asked me yesterday, what do I talk about in these streams? And I shared with them the perspective of the topics that I have. And then Zhao mentioned that it's very much you friends that help dictate the direction the conversation goes. And hey, this is a co-creative process that we show up for every day. Love you, Natalie. I know you're not here anymore, but love you too. Sorry, Joe, that I'm coming to your home with a robot for you. I'm gonna arrive when you're too old and tired to refuse. It's hilarious. I've seen enough CIA videos to be paranoid about my smart TV listening to me. Exactly. You need a boat and strong constitution if you're coming to my. Don't threaten me with a good time, bro. Surprisingly violent. That particular characteristic says a lot about how the frontal lobe impacts our choices. It will be excitedly, I will be excitedly awaiting a chance this evening to fully explore this rabbit hole. Love is true. I don't have the Constitution, Joe. Sorry, but we can talk about stealing the Declaration of Independence if you're down. Become. No, you owe. No, you become. I'm always down for a new adventure. Dibs on being the token blonde. Did Melty freeze for y'all? He's back. Okay, good. I did have to restart. Soon my internet will better. I'm sure it will better. My internet will so much better that it won't mess with me. And like at the very least, if it dies, hopefully it'll tell me that it did. Instead of just starting to loop me on the back end because my internet is unable to continue. We need someone very headstrong in the crew. Sounds good. The topic is quite dear to me and fascinates me as well. Help Melt and Help Melt will say all those things. He's back. Love Shrew. Have you made your way over to the Discord? Because I'd love to pick your brain. Nice. Yeah, do. Uh, Sam said that to Verangova. I think that you'd be good for marketing, Melt. Your community building skills online would translate well to that. It is true. I have actually one of the skills that I have on my list of learn how to do this is marketing. I think some of the 5 skills, marketing is a big one. I do think I'd be a good marketer as well. I know what people like, kind of thing, what grabs attention. Melt, would you have to find a company he believes in? Melt would have to find a company he believes in, maybe one that has a brand name, like a teenage body spray company that produces yogurt instead, like Swaggart. Like again, Sam, I love the sentiment of like I want to do something I believe in, but the only thing I really believe in when it comes to like working for a company is deploying renewables, right? And I think I'm gonna have a hard time finding that kind of work right now in America. Maybe not, but that's like the one thing. Like I really like energy. Wow, very humble, Melt. I never called myself humble, bro. Never. I love my ego. My ego is Melt, right? I have like been shaping this ego meticulously, right? And I do kind of like lean into the like boasting, like the chest puff out ego. I'm so great, right? And I do it even though I know it's a little bit obnoxious sometimes because I need that, all right? This person that I am needs myself to pat me on the back because I spend a lot more time burying myself in nonsense, guilt, incessant bickering with myself. Also, the referral offers to goes to one of you. It's a big company, lots of opportunity, and I feel respected, which is rare in the corporate space. Absolutely. I have a 10-year work history gap, Dan, but I'm good for company morale. I mean, Sam, if I don't know if Dan have answered us about the remote work, but if you could go get a job, bro. We're literally talking about getting a job right now, Yoda. Literally. Right. Dan just mentioned that he'd be willing to not only help me get a job, but help our community members get a job as well in this space. Thank you for being on it. All right, aligned with our fractal. Plus, they give me a $3,000 for a referral that gets through the first 90 days. Nice. Nice. That's a win win. If that happens, then I'm dropping the dollar bills on a fancy dinner with whoever get hired and putting the rest in savings. Awesome. Yeah. Getting to help someone and getting to almost like take that help that you have perpetuated into the world and help yourself in the future kind of thing. Disturbingly dangerous. Oh, disturbingly dangerous. The humans are dangerous, fractal. I can see it. Right, the body's pretty common. Lol, Nancy. Okay, I'll let Dan eat his chicken quesadillas in peace, I guess. Dan, the working man. I have a solid chicken quesadilla recipe. I can drop it into the Discord for you. I'll do. Human is a chimpanzee with shiny toys and tools, just as violent, just as uncontrollable and unpredictable. Far, by far, the scariest animal on the planet. Absolutely. Joe agreed, but would offer also equally as compassionate. Yeah, but agreed, the aggression is very strong. True. A human Z. How dangerous is a loose hybrid? So cursed, Hoopy. Epic predators can show compassion and gentleness. They are built to kill, yet can show a softer side. Can collaborate to kill better. That is the other side. You can go as high up as the federal Congress, dude. I'm gonna run for president in 2036, and you're gonna be in the admin. Nice. You got a VP pick, Dan. Sam is putting in her hat. I can be the Cheney behind the throne. I don't know if I said that name correctly. All critters can be tamed and calmed and domesticated. I told Joe about your not raccoon, your possum, to an extent. But it takes a very direct and isolated attempt to pull the wild out of the entity. Sometimes it takes no effort at all. They are just naturally docile. Yeah, I definitely think there is a certain awareness that animals gain when they become domesticated, where they're like, wait a second, this is nice. And then they might continue living there, but they might also not think it's nice, even though you might consider it. I always giggled when drawn in devil horns. That's a picture of Janie. Sorry, I spoke my last comment and now it looks weird. Love is true. Melty, yeah, I love cooking for my people too, giving them the opportunity to relax and enjoy a meal that they didn't have to work for. I'm like an old Italian grandma, just want to feel, just want to feed people. Exactly. Babes like guys who can cook. Nice. It's true. I believe Judgy would be an absolute steal. Joe, as someone who also loves cooking for folks, there is no higher compliment than a softly spoken, yeah, over a plate of food. I love putting folks into food comas. Here's your permission slip to become the hunter of heart's desire and dreams. Put the permission slip here in my pocket. I'm gonna have one of these pockets. I'll put it in this pocket. Thank you. I don't need a lot of compliments when the conversation at hand are replaced by the sound of forks and knives hitting plates and awards enough. Yeah, the silence that sometimes comes over people as they enjoy your food too is one of my favorites. Think random bunch that use YouTube for learning. Yeah, it's true. Like a lot of what I know, I've learned from YouTube kind of way. Up to it in case you forget. Thanks. Love is true. I'm almost done with the comments. Yes, lots of remote opportunities at nice. There we go. If you live near an office, they do a hybrid, 2 days in the office option. All right. Thank you for letting me know, bro. I am seriously interested. There is also going to be jobs in the area that I'm in with Jovan, but if I'm going to be doing a job, I'm going to do the one that pays me the most for my time. So, uh, yeah, I don't think that's embarrassing to say. That is the way. So I'm so willing to work with you, Dan. And if you can benefit from me working at that place, that's all the more incentive to. Even if, and this is maybe me being a little bit of a sneaky, even if it means uh, like gritting, like gnashing teeth and making sure that I work the 3 months, the 90 days, just to make sure that you get your bonus. And then if I'm like, actually, I'm not really feeling it, then I'll leave after you get your bonus. Low hanging fruit. What do you mean by that, Dan? Mm, yeah, that's true, Nancy. I'm actively dating, and it's such low hanging fruit to be like, I want to cook for you. I think what he means is like, girls probably have heard that, right? Like they're not gonna swoon. They're not gonna swoon when Dan says, "Oh, I want to cook for you." They're gonna be like, "Oh, I bet you do," and then thinking to themselves, "He's probably a bad cook, but he heard somewhere that that's what they that's what we like." Or something like that. I'm projecting as well, Dan. I'm sure it's not easy, especially in the city to date. Like it's very easy to seem impressive by offering to cook for her. It immediately sets you apart from all the dudes that can't cook. Oh, maybe I was double misinterpreting then. Maybe you were saying the opposite of what I was saying just now. Sam, I think he means the women are like, woohoo. I love it when anyone cooks for me. It's true. Me too. I am ready to finish the stream. We've been here for a while now. Longer, longer than we've streamed in a while too. Let me share this with you, friends. This is the last bit of us having this space. I think maybe that's in part why I wanted to stream longer as well. I think Jo is still sleeping. I think she's now slept enough. I think she's like now gotten her 9 hours at the very least. I don't know how we'll be able to sleep tonight, but we'll be up tomorrow morning early to make the most of this space as well. Exactly, Nancy. Give Jo our love. Suppose the family would use a wave too. I'll tell them. Thank you, Sam. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Look at that little farewell from nature. It really is pretty, right? Love you, Melt. Love you, Nancy friend. Thank you for the way you friends hold me and bring love into this space with me. It really is a pleasure to be in this space with you. See you friends again real soon tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.